to have you here for this episode. Today we're diving into a pretty important economic concept, the capital output ratio, or COR. Ever heard of it?
Yeah, I have, but it's one of those terms that sounds technical until you break it down. So what exactly is COR?
Well, simply put, COR tells us how much capital, like money, machinery, infrastructure, is needed to produce one unit of output, meaning goods or services.
Okay, so it's like measuring efficiency in turning investment into actual production?
Exactly. Think of it like seeds and fruits. If capital is the seeds and output is the fruit, COR tells you how many seeds you need to get one fruit.
That's a neat way to put it. So if the QOW is 5, that means you need 5 units of capital to get 1 unit of output?
Right, so a lower COR means you need fewer seeds to get a fruit, or in economic terms, less capital to produce output. That's more efficient.
Got it. Now, I remember there are 2 types of COR, average and marginal, right?
Yes, average CAPR is the total capital divided by total output. Marginal COR, also called the incremental capital output ratio, or ICOR, looks at the additional capital invested compared to the additional output produced.
So ICOR basically tells us how much extra investment is needed to produce the next unit of output.
Exactly. And a lower ICOR means the economy is better at turning investment into growth.
That makes sense. So why does COR matter so much for countries, especially developing ones?
Well, a low COR indicates capital is productive and technology is effective. You get more output for less investment. It can also suggest labor-intensive production or traditional economic structures.
And a high COR would mean the opposite. Capital is less productive, maybe technology is outdated, or more investment is needed to grow?
Yes, and that's generally not desirable because it means you need to invest more to get the same growth.
Interesting. What factors influence COR? I imagine it's not just about how much money you put in.
Definitely not. Natural resources play a big role. Countries rich in natural resources often have a low core because they can use those resources instead of expensive capital.
So, like a country with lots of forests or minerals might need less machinery to produce output?
Exactly. Then there's technology. Capital-intensive technology tends to raise CAR while labor-intensive technology lowers it.
That's a good point. What about things like managerial skill or efficiency?
Those matter a lot. Better management and efficient handling of equipment, lower COR because resources are used fully. Poor handling wastes capital and raises COR.
And I guess things like industrialization and urbanization push COR up because they need heavy investment.
Yes, infrastructure like roads, housing, and factories require big capital outlays, so COR goes up.
What about education? Does that affect COR?
It does. General education improves efficiency, lowering COR, but technical education can increase capital use, which might raise COR.
That's a subtle distinction. Now, there's a debate about whether underdeveloped countries have low or high COR, right?
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Those who argue for low COR say underdeveloped countries have underused resources, so small capital investments yield big output.
Plus, rapid population growth means more labor and bigger markets, keeping COR low.
Exactly. Also, focusing on labor-intensive industries means less capital is needed.
But on the flip side, some say underdeveloped countries have high COR because of inefficient use of capital, poor education, and big infrastructure needs.
Right. Plus, exploiting natural resources can require heavy capital investment, and slow population growth can reduce capital effectiveness.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all situation.
Definitely not. Now, how do we estimate COR in practice?
I think it's the total investment divided by the expected annual growth in output.
Yes. For example, if investment is about 32% of GDP and growth is 8%, then COR is 32 divided by 8, which is 4.
So 4 rupees invested produces 1 rupee of output growth. That's pretty straightforward.
It is, but there are limitations. Accurate data is often missing in developing countries, and COR isn't constant. It changes over time.
Plus, it doesn't help decide which sectors to prioritize. And it ignores investment in human capital.
Exactly. Also, it assumes supporting factors like skilled labor grow with capital, which isn't always true.
And during economic downturns, more capital might not increase output, making COR less meaningful.
Right. Despite these limits, COR is still very useful in economic planning.
Like helping planners figure out how much investment is needed to reach growth targets.
Yes. For instance, if I-core is 2 and you want to increase output by 10 units, you need 20 units of capital investment.
And since underdeveloped countries often have low savings, they need foreign aid to invest enough for growth.
Exactly. So COR helps highlight the role of capital in development and checks if growth targets are realistic.
So, to wrap up, COR is like a measuring stick for how efficiently an economy turns investment into growth.
Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's a powerful concept that helps countries plan better and make smarter investment decisions.
Makes sense. It's a useful lens to understand economic development challenges.
Absolutely. Thanks for exploring this with me.
My pleasure. Until next time.